Have you ever wondered why you say yes when you meant to say no? Let me tell you, I've spent years chasing that exact question. Picture this. You're walking through a store, eyes glancing over a display of turquoise jewelry. Nothing special, nothing new, but the next day, the prices double and suddenly, the same jewelry flies off the shelves. Why? Here's the setup. Our minds crave shortcuts. In psychology, we call these heuristics, mental rules of thumb that save us time and energy, just like a computer running a preset script. But sometimes, these scripts become fixed action patterns. Like mother turkeys who care for anything that goes cheap, we react to cues, price, authority, popularity without thinking. Now, you might be thinking, I'm no mindless automaton, but consider this. Harvard psychologist Ellen Langer showed that people let someone cut in line at a copier just because they said because, even if the reason made no sense. Trigger words and simple cues override logic. These psychological triggers are everywhere. Think about the expensive equals good bias, or the contrast principle, where the first thing you see shapes your perception of everything after. It's like dipping your hand in cold water, then in lukewarm. Suddenly, room temperature feels hot. Marketers, salespeople, even politicians know exactly which buttons to push. So here's the actionable takeaway. Notice your next impulse to comply. Is it reason or is it a trigger feature? Awareness is your first defense. Every time you pause to ask, what's really making me say yes? You reclaim control of your choices. That's how personal growth begins. With a single moment of mindful attention. Why do we feel compelled to return a favor even to someone we barely know or may not even like? Here's a story. A university professor once mailed Christmas cards to total strangers. Guess what? He got a flood of holiday cards in return. No questions asked. That's the rule of reciprocity in action, a profound cross-cultural trigger hardwired into us since childhood. In psychology, reciprocity is a social contract, a norm that says we repay in kind. It's why an unsolicited free sample at the grocery store makes you feel obligated to buy, even if you weren't hungry. In evolutionary terms, sociologists call this an adaptive mechanism, allowing societies to share, trade, and cooperate. Now, consider this hypothetical. Someone offers you a tiny favor, like a Coke, and later asks you to buy raffle tickets. As Cialdini's classic experiment showed, even people who didn't like the requester doubled their purchases just to even the score. Crazy, right? The setup is our desire not to seem ungrateful. The conflict is the discomfort of feeling indebted. And the resolution is we comply even if it's unfair. Direct address. Have you ever accepted a free gift, then felt awkward, refusing a follow-up ask? It's not just you. Charities, marketers, even religious groups, like the Hare Krishnas, use this tactic. Sometimes, the gifts aren't even wanted think address labels you toss in the trash, but the sense of obligation lingers. So, what's the growth lesson here? Don't blindly reciprocate. Next time you receive an uninvited favor, pause. Ask yourself, is this genuine generosity or a setup for compliance? Learning to distinguish real connection from manipulation is key to authentic relationships and your own empowerment. Let's face it, these influence tactics aren't going anywhere. In fact, our increasingly complex world gives even more openings for them to operate. But here's the good news. Understanding these weapons of influence, technical term for psychological triggers, puts the power back in your hands. Imagine this. You're asked to chaperone a group of teenagers at the zoo. You hesitate. But just seconds before, the same person asked for something outrageous, 2 years as a volunteer counselor. Suddenly, the zoo request feels reasonable. That's the rejection then retreat technique, blending the contrast principle with reciprocity. It's a classic 1-2 punch. Now you might say, isn't it manipulative to use these tactics? Sure, but knowing about them lets you spot when others are subtly steering your decisions. I once caught myself agreeing to buy overpriced candy bars after refusing an even bigger ask classic compliance sequence. The conflict. My automatic sense of obligation. The resolution. Next time, I paused, acknowledged the feeling, and made a conscious choice. Direct address. How can you protect yourself? Step 1, awareness. Step 2, practice saying no without guilt or explanation. Step 3, reflect. Am I acting from my core values or from automatic scripts? Here's your challenge. Start recognizing when influence is at play. Reframe. Triggers as opportunities to practice conscious decision-making. With each mindful refusal or genuine agreement, you become less a target and more the author of your own life story. That's the real power of personal growth.